Hello and welcome to Mustaches on Mustafar. I know the thumbnail turned some people on. That's good. But just the topic I know turned a few people off. I already know that off the bat. The sequels is not really something that people want to talk about or hear about. I'm one of those people. Was one of those people, I should say. Because you changed my mind. Life, good sir. So why don't you tell people that are watching what you've done?
Oh, what did I do?
Is
my mic on? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, High Ground 69. Is this your birthday? A very happy birthday to you, and here is a giant sip for you.
There you go. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Very nice. Yeah, so I had a crazy idea and I ran with it, and I decided to take it upon myself to find a version of the sequel trilogy that I could love. Master Paul.
Hello. How are y'all?
Welcome.
How's it going?
I'm good. It has been a hot minute since the three of us have been on stream together.
Yeah,
That's
man.
Right. You were absolutely right. Anyway, Matcave, continue.
Well, it really was a passion project that I don't know of anyone else that has done this, but this all came from wanting to love the sequel trilogy films. I wanted to love them so badly that I decided to make my own version of them with what I had to work with, which was the films themselves.
Well, and the concept isn't new. I've seen other channels that do like complete rewrites of the entire sequel trilogy and starting from the ground up, essentially. But I know you wanted to take what was there and tweak it to where it's palatable to more people, rather than just completely, because anyone could start over and make something from a fan perspective, but to take what was there, and I mean, we use the analogy polishing a turd. I think you succeeded, but that kind of seems like that was your jumping off point and where you started with this project.
Yeah, because it was one of those things where when I had to change my thinking. For the longest time, I always thought about what would I have done different, like filming wise, like everything from the ground up. But I didn't have that as an option. So I changed my thinking and started wondering, well, there is a lot of things that I did like in these films, and I felt like there was a deeper story here, just being overshadowed and covered by all the things that stood out more to me. So I thought to myself, well, I have this technology here in front of me. What can I do with it? Can I uncover that hidden story that's in there that I want to love?
Right.
And what people will notice is that I started with The Last Jedi. I do have ideas for Force Awakens. It won't be as extreme of changes, and I will put that out. But I felt the most important part to work on was episode 8 and then episode 9. Because episode 8, The Last Jedi, is what divided fans unlike I have ever seen in my entire life. And I
The
lived
fandom
through
the fandom was in arguably a really good place after The Force Awakens.
Yes.
Myself and a bunch of other people, we didn't like it. It didn't click with us, but there wasn't any massive division like there is now, or like there was right after The Last Jedi. So that makes sense that you would want to start with that one. So quick, if anyone's watching and they're kind of lost on what this whole edit thing is, Matcave edited or re-edited The Last Jedi, trimming the fat, so to speak. Taking off all the stuff that is just kind of weighing down the gold nuggets of the story that are underneath. And then obviously you can't upload it to YouTube because you'll be, I'm pretty sure your channel will be gone tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be gone instantly.
But we had a watch party in Discord, in my Discord server, which I think we peaked at like 20 people in there at a time. It was a nice sizable group that we had in there watching the movie together, and we had our little text channel to talk about it on the side, which a lot of us were really excited about that.
It's also worth mentioning that we had people in there literally from both sides of this divide. We had people in there that didn't like Last Jedi as it was, and we had people in there that did like Last Jedi as it was, and pretty much everyone had good things to say about Matcave's edits.
Yes.
I was beside myself, guys, with that watch party. I was smiling the entire time and watching the comments come up in the chat while everybody's watching. Felix, Star Wars Theology, said thank you so many times I lost count. I mean, it's just and look, I'm never gonna claim that this is some sort of masterpiece or anything like that. This is far from perfect in every way. It's very rough. There was a lot of limitations that went involved with this, but my biggest hope was that those elements aside, if the story came through, that was what I could hope for. Hey, Father Time.
And so I think you succeeded in that because, I mean, speaking for myself, a lot of people know that I don't like the sequels. That's pretty apparent if you've seen any of my streams. I tend to mention it at least once each stream. But I don't like the sequels. And if you were to ask me a week ago, what's one movie you could erase from existence? What would you want to just make it so it was never made? I would probably have said The Last Jedi. And going from that to now where I feel about it, specifically about your edit of saying like, I'll happily watch that again. Like right now, I'll watch it again and enjoy it, and which I did. That's got to say something. Just that right there.
I mean, that just hearing anyone, especially someone who you're on the same side I was, who just really didn't like these films. To hear you say that, dude, you have no idea, man. That means the world, and I don't know. I did this from a very selfish point of view. It was just for me. I was like, I just want to be able to sit down and watch these and find something in it. But then I was like, I want to share this with people, and I wonder if anyone would even care to see it. Like that was the thing. And then all of a sudden we had 20 plus people in a watch party, and I couldn't believe it. It.
Yeah, if you bake a cake and then you cover it in manure, no one's gonna, at least I'm not gonna eat it.
No.
It doesn't matter how good the cake is underneath. And that's kind of how I felt about it, is thinking about actually what is in the story, those core fundamentals of the story arc of like Luke's character, of Rey's path, those little things in there. It's amazing. It's actually really good. And there's little gold nuggets hidden in there that are really profound and that made me feel like, okay, this is Star Wars. This is really good. This is what I come here for. And it was just weighed down in the original version of the movie by all the lame jokes and the woke stuff and the casino planet and the little bunny trails and the your mom jokes and all that stuff just kind of weighed it down. And for me, going into The Last Jedi in the theater, watching it, I had very low expectations, but I was kind of already turned off to being able to enjoy it. I didn't want to enjoy it, and so I didn't. But now with those things removed, I allowed myself to be open to enjoying it, and I really did. So what are some of the edits that you made? Some of the big ones that you changed in this version compared to the original movie?
Well, the things I chose all had a reason, and a lot of the reason was a common theme, was adjusting the tone of the film and also adjusting the pace of the film. Because like you said, you have things that come in like mom jokes.
Right.
I mean, I'm all for having humor in Star Wars. We have always had humor in Star Wars, going back to the original. But a mom joke does not belong in the Star Wars universe. And not only that, to have it interrupt an entire sequence that was supposed to be exciting and supposed to showcase a hero, showcase Poe Dameron being a hero of the Resistance, taking on impossible odds in an awesome X-Wing, by the way. I loved his X-Wing. That thing was sick. And then suddenly they're doing a "Can you hear me now?" joke, and then he makes fun of Hux's mom. And that's what, the first 3-4 minutes into the film,
which is what turned me off right off the bat,
right?
For that movie.
We're
the same way as
in the film.
Well, yeah, in Force Awakens, funny enough, it's Poe again saying, "What happens? You talk first, I talk first." Right off the bat, just a lame joke in what should be a serious situation, and that just didn't sit well with me in either of those movies. It made a huge difference that was taken out in your edit.
And that particular one, as it turns out, is actually the smoothest edit out of the whole thing that I did.
Yes, it is.
Right? It's, to me, like, I feel like that one was practically seamless. The rest, I mean, you guys saw it. There are some really rough jump cuts, and they kind of had to happen. But this moment, I was so happy with it, because to give you guys an idea of my process, I did this from beginning to end. I already had the ideas of where I wanted to go, but I didn't jump to everything at any given moment. I wanted to play it out as it should, like to feel it as I did this. And so I started right from the beginning and just went piece by piece. And when I did that first edit, my son was with me, and he goes, "Dad, this looks really good." Like, and then right there, I was like, I know I'm doing the right thing right now. I know that this is meaningful. And my son was actually the first person to see my edit, and he really enjoyed it. And I was so happy that he did. And he's someone that he initially liked all 3 films, but as he rewatched them, he started seeing the flaws. He's 9 and he found the flaws.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I mean, if that doesn't tell you something, like, it's just a kid, a 9-year-old kid who, like, these movies should be for, and the kid's like, why did that happen? Like, that, if you've pulled the kids out of the movie, it's like, wow, something went wrong.
Yeah. My youngest brother, Jonathan, was the same way.
Yeah, and what Leia says that she thought that was funny, probably the Poe joke. And I'm sure a lot of people thought it was funny. I'm pretty sure that the theaters were laughing at a lot of things, but I mean, then you go to the Leia Poppins scene, and there's people like me screaming in the theaters. But I think for the sake of fitting it into the Star Wars universe, that's one of the things that just had to go. That and the green milk, I think we can all agree. What's up, Spider-Man 96? Here's a sip for you.
And like I said, having tried both blue and green milk at Galaxy's Edge, blue milk is far superior.
And also, Spider-Man says he was chilling on an Obsession stream. A very serious congratulations, whatever, to Obsession, who hit 500 subs. I believe it was earlier today. He's now at 507, so huge congrats to him. That is really, really cool. So huge congratulations to Obsession. Make sure you subscribe to him if you are not, because he's doing a massive giveaway when he hits 1,000, as I'm sure I will as well when I hit 1,000. Speaking of which, we are very, very close to 750.
Dude, you're like
We're
right there,
knocking
man.
on that door, and we have another giveaway at 750. A few items, still deciding. They will be worth your time to stop by. We got some new people in here. Let's see, Dat Boy Steve. Hello.
Hey. Hello.
There's a sip for you. X-Wing. Here's a sip for you.
Commander on deck.
Ladage. Here's a sip for you. Daryl. Here's a sip for you. Oh, who else we got? Who else we got? Maximus. Here's a sip for you. Scorpion. Or was he already here? I don't know. Everest, here's a sip for you.
Hey, yo.
All right, so since we got a flood of new people come in here, what we're talking about right now is Matcave re-edited The Last Jedi, and I loved it.
Me too.
I really enjoyed The Last Jedi, which is crazy. And
doesn't it sound weird?
It does. It really does. Something that I've hated for so long that I can now accept into my Star Wars headcanon. It's like the end of Count of Monte Cristo, where Mercedes is trying to get him to like let it go, and he's like, "Don't rob me of my hate. It's all I have." Like that's exactly how I feel. Yeah, sippity sip sip. How much coffee? How much can coffee sip sip? Yeah, Spider-Man loved it.
Thank you.
And we'll open it up if anyone else that was in the watch party wants to join and talk about this in a little bit. We'll have you guys on. I'll put it in my Discord. But essentially all you did was trim the fat of the movie, just the stuff that enraged people the most. Luke throwing the lightsaber, him being a jerk, all the lame jokes, like all that stuff is what you took out. And it wasn't like any crazy like story changing edits where you smashed things up, but there were also some really subtle things that you did. Like you took out the water on Kylo Ren's hand or his face or whatever. And you added in a certain sound effect during a certain cave scene. Why don't you tell people about that?
So that was one that came pretty late in the process, and it was as I was already writing up and finishing up my draft for episode 9. And I started thinking about it. I was like, well, my other intention here is to make these films fit together better, because they felt so disjointed. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. So it just felt like puzzle pieces that weren't part of the same puzzle. So I wanted to make these I wanted to make these films fit better. So when I got to 9, I'm thinking about the dyad and the things I was going to adjust there. And because of my changes in 9, I had to remove the water drops in 8. Because the thing that drove me nuts the most, oh geez, Steve Davison, thank you. The thing that drove me nuts the most in 9 was the idea of passing physical objects through the Force. That, for me, went too far. I love the idea of a dyad, and I have since KOTOR. And I always wanted to see more of it. But when that happened, I was just like, what is going on here? It just got more and more ridiculous. So when I finally settled on how I was going to handle 9, I went back to my edit before releasing Last Jedi and removed the water drops from his hand, because it's just a quick moment that a lot of people may have even missed. But I knew now.
Missed.
Nice. So I knew now what it was meant to foreshadow. But backing up to your other mention with the adding a sound effect, at that point too, I was thinking, well, you know what? It's not like it's not like I'm spoiling anything here at this point. The movies have been out. Everyone knows the story. So why not throw a little more extra hints in there? So the moment that Rey is down in the cave, and actually, if I can...
Yeah, if you've got it, I'll bring it up.
I do. Hold on one second.
And you can see in the channel, the chat text channel in my Discord server, like everyone that was watching in there was just like, oh, you added it in. That's so cool.
Yes. And I took it upon myself to catalog all the changes.
Nice. So here's, I believe I have this audio sharing. That's the key thing here. But before we talk about it, let's run this really short clip of what I did here. And it's very, very subtle. So turn up your speakers. Here we go.
Let me see them. My parents. Please.
Get ready.
Yep, there it is.
It's perfect.
Just a little subtle moment.
And you guys all better. Oh my gosh, I removed Paul.
I lost
You guys all watching better have
It
known
happens.
whose laugh that was. But it's a brilliant piece of foreshadowing that ties everything together, because that was, I mean, one of the main criticisms of the entire sequel trilogy is that they're so disjointed. There's inconsistencies and plot lines that go nowhere, and there's not really a whole lot you can do with Snoke disappearing.
Yeah, that was, I mean, Snoke is an unfortunate sacrifice in the whole thing to begin with, because he was such an interesting character and I wanted to know more about him. And actually, speaking of that, and actually to give a shout out, Hawk's Hologrons turned me on to the Kylo Ren. There he is. Turned me on to the Kylo Ren comic book issues. There was 4 issues, and I read all 4 of them. And it's about Ben dealing with Snoke before Ben turned. And it was fascinating. And I wish it was in the movie. So it, at least it gave me a little more about Snoke. I wanted to know more about him. So I feel a lot better having that now. Like I consider that part of my headcanon now.
Right.
Like, okay, this is part of the story. So if anyone's never read those, I highly recommend them. They're fantastic.
I will look into that.
Yeah, they're really good. But it was like, thinking about it, like, all right, I'm not spoiling anything for anybody at this point. Let's have some fun with it and make this fit together even more, and throw a hint about Palpatine's return in episode.
And
like
that boy Steve,
so
absolutely, it would have spoiled it if it had been in there when it came out.
Yes.
But since it's already out, your goal was trying to make this movie watchable and more enjoyable and more cohesive in the original trilogy, and that needed to happen. Couldn't have put it in there when it came out originally.
Yeah, no, if this was back, I would never have done that. That was...
You were basically just working with a bunch of hindsight.
And there are ways that you could have tied it in and made it a little allusion to her having a powerful lineage that don't immediately give away Palpatine. There's ways that they could have done it. The problem is they didn't. They didn't attempt to do that because she had no important lineage. They were filthy junk traders who sold you for drinking money.
You're nothing. You're nothing.
Yeah, but not to me. But I just thought that was perfect, and it fits so well into the rest of the movies, considering, because you told me a little bit about the other edits that you've made to episode 7 and episode 9, one of which is taking away the Rey's mind control in The Force Awakens, because that didn't seem right to me. In The Force Awakens, her Force abilities jump up way too quickly. It's like the first day that you get in an F1 car and you're already beating Mario Andretti's lap records or something like that. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I
if
kind
you-
of know what that's like, joining the boomers gaming on Mario Kart.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of that, X-Wing Hawks, I just want to tell you guys, I watched Paul playing some kart today, and I got to tell you, he's not invincible. We can beat this man. You gotta
The
team up.
only- I was playing with randoms online that clearly play this game online more than me.
Has weaknesses.
But
Speaking of X-Wing,
throwing that back to you, Matcave. Thanks to the Matcave, I now have the ability to host some boomer gaming.
Yeah.
That's dope. Speaking of X-Wing, him and Coach and Nick are the people that I want to see this edit. And hopefully they can watch with an open mind to enjoy it. Really would love to get their take on that. Because I think if I can say I like The Last Jedi, anyone can.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for them to check it out, and like I said in the watch party, and anyone watching tonight, if anyone would like access to copies of the film, reach out to me on Discord, just direct message me and let me know.
Yeah. But it fits so much better. And she's in this movie, she's learning her force powers. Like bursting down the door of Luke's hut. Like that's a very crude basic force ability that if you're angry enough, you can do that. Like that doesn't take a whole lot of training to do. And then we get to see her practicing with the lightsaber and stuff, which originally was cringy. I think it still is. Just the choreography in this movie is terrible. And there's not really a whole lot you can do. The Royal Guard scene, I think it was that boy Steve that said that he liked it. It's a terrible scene from a fight choreography standpoint. It's horrendous, and there's not a whole lot you could have done with that in your edit besides just skip it.
If you want a really, really good breakdown of that scene,
Shadiversity.
Look up Shadiversity. He breaks it down literally frame for frame.
It was like an hour-long breakdown of that one scene.
Oh my goodness!
Breaking down every single move.
Mm-hmm. And he knows what he's talking about because he has actually trained in martial arts and swordsmanship.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really cool channel. His channel blew up over the last year.
Nice.
I think I found him right after he made that video, and he was at like 20,000 subs. He's up there now. Quieter. Okay. All right. Be quiet. We're the sleeping babies. ASMR review. Last Jedi whisper edit. Oh, that's right. That's right. It was Chewie.
Yeah, it was Chewie knocking down the door.
Okay.
Yep. Which I did make an adjustment there to that moment as well. This was the one of the most difficult things was changing Luke. The most
ASMR.
Ooh, wow, you even rolled it. And the Predator. What the hell are
Do that too much, you'll summon that one user, if I said that
right. It's been activated. Now we got to get Coach in here. He's got to do his Coach. It's obviously everybody, even people who really supported these sequel films, had their issues with the way Luke was portrayed. That was something that was unavoidable no matter which side of the fence you were on with the film. And that was a huge motivation in doing this, is trying to find our hero again and change the tone, because there's so many things, so many moments of his character in this of anger. It's just anger, hatred, sarcasm, and he's just overall frustrated. That's why everybody's like, oh, it's just grumpy old man Luke. Like it just it wasn't enjoyable. And I said this while I was on Paul's stream, and I'll say it again here. Mark Hamill did a phenomenal job. He portrayed the character how he was told to by the writers and directors, which is, at the end of the day, That's the actor's job. Bring the character to life the way you're directed to do. And to that end, Mark Hamill did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
And we'll get into Luke a little bit more, but first, congratulations on 500 subs.
Hey guys,
Congrats, man.
You did a good
again,
job.
dude.
You did a good job. They didn't do a good job. You did a good job.
Awesome.
Real quick, Obsession, you were there during the watch party. I don't know how much you were actually watching, but you were there. How did this edit change your perception of The Last Jedi? Because I don't really know your stance on The Last Jedi before.
I mean, I don't really have a negative ill towards any of the current canon items. Yeah, there's some stuff that wasn't great, but for me, the Luke dice or the Luke projection that killed him, that stuff didn't bother me. Luke and himself as a whole during these movies didn't bother me, but the cut is way more. I think it's easier for most people to swallow, right? As a whole, I think it's a little easier to get on board for. Thank you guys for. I think it's just easier for most people to get on board because it does a better job with the characters that bother people. Right. In these movies. So yeah, it was a great cut. Yeah.
And it was rough. I think the main criticism of the edit, if there was one, is it's rough in how it cuts.
Very rough.
Right.
But I said in the watch party, there's a certain charm to that I kind of really liked towards the end of it, in that I knew it was skipping over something terrible.
Right. And I think that's what most people who watched it. Now, I would love to see the interpretation of somebody who's never seen it, watch that cut first, and then watch the other cut, because the transitions are rough, but you can only do so much without the full master. If you have the full master and you have your choice of what to use, that's a horse of another color.
Yeah.
Right. But you're limited with what you get on screen and the added. I thought adding a voice here, an added deleted scene there was a good use of the product that you had at your disposal.
Right.
But if you have a full master to cut from, that's a whole different story, you can tell.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And you added in like holocron stuff from Rebels in episode 9, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about that.
Not to mention you added footage from A New Hope in episode 8.
Why am I looking the wrong way?
Yes.
You're over there.
Oh, hi.
There you are.
You should just switch. What I do is I just switch you two, and then that way you see that way you're
there you are.
right way. There you go. That's what I do. Next week's like, why am I in the host position? I was like, because I don't want to look left. That's why. But yeah, I thought it was a great cut. I didn't, like I said, I don't have any ill will towards the original way it was cut. And the original story, for me, it doesn't really bother me the way it does others.
And that's what, like, I was so glad that you were there and Hawks was there and everything, like, because I wanted people from both sides to kind of see this. And it was like, when I decided to even consider sharing what I did with it, it was along the lines of just trying to maybe find somewhat of a middle ground where both sides can kind of meet and just be like, hey, because here's the thing, like, I've always said that I wanted to love these films so much that I'm jealous of people that truly do. But at the same time, I understand why people love the theatrical cuts of the films, because Luke, in the way he's portrayed in the film, he's a very broken man. He's been through some stuff. This guy, he went through things that we unfortunately didn't get to truly see, but we get a sense of what happened. And I can totally understand how some people were like, what an amazing story. I love this.
Right.
But then there's the other side where I get it. And I'm part of that side where it's like, man, that really didn't land for me. And throughout the film, I kept seeing these moments of the Luke that I personally wanted. I would see it shine through, and that really got the gears turning. Like, what can I do to work with this and bring that Luke forward a little more?
Right.
And I wonder how much of that was Mark Hamill saying, like tweaking things himself. Like, I know it says this on the script, but if I act this slightly different way, this is more Luke, not Jake. Like, I wonder how much of that was him, and we'll never know that, obviously.
Yeah.
But you have to wonder, like, how much of that was out of his control, and how much of that did he slightly adjust because it's him.
Right.
He knows himself more than Abrams or the other guy, whatever. But I think that the main criticism of this movie was Luke, and the main criticisms of Luke were, one, throwing away the lightsaber. Like, that is the lightsaber. You don't throw that away. That's a huge criticism, which you took out of the movie, which is great. And Felix is just the entire time just thank you. But you took that out. Number two, the criticism of Luke is, why would he kill or attempt to kill his nephew just because he saw a bad dream? But your edit made it so that he was confronting him, and then Ben overreacted. There was no Luke striking him down in a fit of rage and in that split second, a moment of weakness or whatever. There wasn't any of that, and that is much more believable, that he would approach Ben to confront him, and then Ben would overreact, maybe in that moment fearing for his life, because he knows how powerful Luke is.
Yeah. And we have to keep in mind that Snoke has been in his head this whole time, manipulating him. Like, we didn't get to really see that, but mentioning those comics before, that actually helped me a lot thinking my way through this, because you really get a good sense of how much Snoke was manipulating Ben. And
well, and it's amazing what a different cut can do, right? That's why director's cuts are sometimes so enjoyable to watch, because you're getting the director's version versus the producer's version that's sitting in the edit with the editors, right? So sometimes a different cut can totally change the perspective of how you see the movie, just based on simple addition or subtraction of scenes. And that's basically what you did. You did a director's cut for them, because their director's cut weren't received well, let's say.
Arbiter, if you're talking about the Matcave edit, we already watched it. This was Friday night that we watched it in my Discord server. We had a watch party. But if you want to watch it, you can message Matcave. There you are on this side.
I'm over here.
He will send you the link for the Google Drive folder, and then you can watch it yourself. It's shorter than the original one. It's like, what, an hour and a half, hour and 40?
About an hour and 50 minutes before it hits credits.
Right.
And
so it's shorter. Yeah, because there's no Canto bites.
Yeah, they are shorter. And honestly, the cuts aren't that hard to deal with. I mean, really, you're not taken out of the story that with it, and it's a good watch. So I wanted to stop in and give you my praises, because we haven't really had a chance to talk about it. I figure we'll talk about it Wednesday in detail. I'm not sure if the other kids have watched it, but yeah, I mean, I thought
make X-Wing watch it.
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will if he hasn't already. He
sent him access.
He asked for the server for the Infer. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to stop in. I've been on for 2 hours. I got to take a vocal break. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to stop in and say hello to you guys, and really just let you know that you did a great job with it. It was received really well during the watch party, and then thereafter. I wasn't speaking much because I was doing other stuff in the background. I didn't want you guys to hear clicky the whole time. But yeah, I mean, and it's great to be over here. I want to do more with you guys. I know I've been on Animation Friday, and it's great being here at Korriban. So, but yeah, I definitely want to do more with you guys. And I just really wanted to come tell Matt what a great job he did. I think everybody agrees that you did a great job. And I know it's tough to sit with your eyes on the screen that long. So I'm looking forward to the next one.
I can't wait to
all are
get that out to you guys, because
we can watch all three of them together and then see how it flows and how everybody talk about it. And then go from there. So I'm pumped. Thanks for the quick invite. Like I said, I got to jump for sure. Need to get some beverages in there.
Yeah, get some like tea with honey or something.
Yeah.
It's too much of that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm screaming. My girlfriend's over here laughing at me when I'm screaming. She's like, "Why That's why I can hear you downstairs when you're getting on it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, we get after it. So I'm gonna get some tea and honey on my vocal cords.
See, I can't scream. I can't scream right now. I got 2 toddlers sleeping over there.
Yeah, I mean, the neighbors are like 80 years old and they stay up all night, so I'm not worried about waking them ever. And that's the direction I'm yelling. But yeah, we got cats, and the cats are like, I yell and then they yell back at me. It's hilarious. If you saw them down here, they're like, ah, and I'm like, ah, and they're like, ah. So yeah, and it's great because your voice is so soothing at that volume, right? Like you're like a disc jockey, right? You're like, welcome to Korriban Transmissions, right? It's so soothing and easy to the ear. So that's why I come to listen, and sometimes I just put you on when I'm in the background because it's
awesome.
It's mellow, man. So we love hearing you guys. Thank you for letting me in. I am like jibber jabbering like crazy because I'm still buzzing from earlier.
As you should be.
500 is huge, dude. That's half of 1,000.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Yeah, it's a quarter of 2,000.
Yeah, I mean, it took a year. A little over a year, but I wasn't putting out a lot of content in the beginning, and I really wasn't live streaming. So it was kind of later when I started coming on with X-Wing and stuff that we started doing. So it's been a good year, and I'm looking forward to the next one, and hopefully we'll do more. So I want to hang out with you guys more, and let's do some more community unity stuff.
For sure.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks for letting me come by and buzz a little bit. I appreciate you guys.
And congrats again.
Matt, great job, dude. We'll
enjoy that tea.
Just great job.
I appreciate it.
Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
All right.
See you, dude.
See you. Yeah. Real quick, I wanted to catch up on a chat that Steve put earlier. He said, do we believe Star Wars Jesus will unite the fandom again or nah? Not a chance.
I'm not touching that one.
Not a chance. Unite the fandom? No way. That is never going to happen. Not even Luke's return in Mandalorian united the fandom. So
I feel like
that
it did
if that
for
wouldn't
maybe half a second.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you think
that's about
like
as close as we're ever gonna get.
How amazing that was, and everyone's cheering it, and how quickly people started ripping on the effect of his face.
CGI,
yeah.
His lips are moving.
But I think Kenobi's gonna be killer, man. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I hope
think about how much people were ripping apart the Bad Batch because of the one finale episode, which should have been the second half of the one finale episode. We all agree on that. But just because of that, people were ripping on the show saying, we didn't need this, and then that sort of stuff, overlooking what we actually got. In Boba Fett, we got a ton. Like, we had a whole stream talking about all the good stuff we got from Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And people are not liking that because Beta Fett and whatever. So I don't think, unless it is 100% pure what we want, people are not going to like it. I think it's too polarized now.
It'll unfortunately have something that people will rip on, and it's because that's the thing. Even when you get the best of this stuff, there's always something like Luke's return, for example. That was one of the most amazing things to happen in Star Wars, and nice. I think he spelled whiskey wrong.
I was just gonna say that. It's time to get whiskey in a galaxy far, far away. With the cool sounds of Korriban transmissions.
Sounds like a much better idea than the Star Cruiser Hotel.
Yes, dude. Did you guys see my honest trailer?
Dude, that was hilarious.
Not yet. But I made my own video on it today, and
I made that on my
what I
lunch
saw
break.
was not fun.
It was so low effort. But
oh, it's awesome. I was in the middle of work, and then all of a sudden I saw the little alert pop up. I'm like, wait, what did he just post about the cruiser? And then I was cracking up, and then I had to go into a meeting
because I don't really know all that much about the details other than what I've seen in a few different videos talking about it. So I don't feel knowledgeable enough to have like a whole stream talking about it. Plus everyone else is doing that. But I figured okay, people are talking about bingo and the short lightsabers, and I know it's expensive, so I'll just make a funny video about that. Yeah. Don't waste your time. Anyway, let's get back to 1K before the end of 2022. I think we're all gonna get there.
There you go, man.
I think
I'm
we're all
there
gonna
for
get
it.
there. Let's all do it because you're past 300, Matcave, and Paul, you're past 300.
I'm at 322 exactly.
I don't know
Pretty
what
much
I am
300
exactly.
even.
Something exactly. What am I at right now? 727 exactly.
There you go. You're climbing.
Yeah. What were we gonna say? Yeah, 1K before the end of 22. I think so. I think if I'm consistent with uploads, I'll hit 1K before the end of Kenobi. I'm feeling confident about that.
Nice.
And you guys are very much more than welcome to sub leech off of me. Streams or whatever. I'm all for offloading some subs to you guys.
Darth Arbiter, my channel's name is the Star Wars Guys.
Yeah, hang on just a second.
And I actually just this week made also a second channel called Master Paul's Game Room, and that's where all the gaming streams are going now. And Matcave has been helping me out with that.
Yes, 96. There's always a discrepancy between what is public and what is in the studio. So the subscribers can be off by, I've seen as much as like 10 subs for me difference. And then views are wildly different. Like I'll have a video that says, especially one that blows up like a short, that'll say like 2,000 views, but then publicly it'll still read like 200 views. So it probably does say 726. And it fluctuates. It goes up and down because YouTube likes to take subs away and add it back randomly.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that, but yeah, that happens to me also.
I'm pretty sure it's if a channel subscribes and doesn't immediately watch stuff, it'll automatically deduct it from your total until it can verify that it's a legit channel and not just a bot.
Oh, I gotcha. I guess that makes sense.
I think that's what I've heard before. So
yeah.
And I'm going to put Matt Cave's channel in here just in case there's anyone watching that is not also subscribed. Because we're all for leeching subs.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's all good.
Pull up that one pull up the
I
latest comment that Dat
I
Boy
just saw
Steve
the thumbnail
just
for
brought
this
in.
stream again. Do you like that thumbnail, Matt?
Dude, that popped up, dude. I was
That was
hurting.
nice.
I was trying to laugh so quietly because the kids went to bed. I was like, what did he do?
It was so late. I was like, oh, I gotta stream in like an hour. What do I gotta make? Okay, Luke with Matt's face.
Yeah, that was my I did put out those teaser trailers for episode 8 and episode 9 for the recuts. But before that, I did put out a short little foreshadowing video, which is I think where you ripped that image from.
Yeah, your little like grabbing the case.
Grabbing the movie.
Because I was gonna Google search Matt Cave's face, but I was like, it wouldn't be on there, would it? No, I don't think so.
Well, now
anyway, let's get back to the Last Jedi. We've deviated long enough. Skywalker is what we were talking about. So those criticisms, the throwing of the lightsaber and the killing of his nephew and just being a jerk, you addressed those, and his character in this movie was beautiful. I almost teared up during his death, which I didn't even come close to the first time I watched The Last Jedi. This is only the second time I've seen the movie. I saw it once in theaters and never wanted to see it after that until your edit. And I had no emotion when Luke died. I was angry. Is he really dead? Like, seriously? I mean, sure, more powerful than you could possibly imagine, be one with the Force and everything. But he just gives up and he's dead. And there's all the jokes of like he just got too tired and took a nap.
Yeah. Well, it's old man grumpy Luke, so he got tired.
Right. But it was beautiful. It was the last moment of sacrifice, and his character arc was almost like paying the price for cutting himself off from the Force.
Yeah, I wanted his sacrifice to be meaningful, and before it just didn't feel like it was. Oh, nice, dude. awesome.
That's really
Congrats.
good. That's really good. I'm at like 6,000 watch hours if you include shorts, but those don't count.
Those don't count. Yeah.
So I'm at like, I don't know, 1,600 or something.
Okay. Yeah, that having the hero of Star Wars die and have people not feel anything or even feel anger towards it, like that just wasn't right. And I wanted to, because obviously I can't do anything about that. It had to stay.
Right.
It's going to happen no matter what. But I wanted the journey to getting there to mean something. So there were certain scenes I did rearrange in this film so that it would lead there in a better way. Like I wanted Luke's moment of deciding to reconnect back to the Force to be a much bigger moment than it was in the theatrical film, and the placement where it was. Because it was when he reaches out, and this is right after I put in that deleted scene where Rey runs to the village and thinks she's going to save them, but it turned out it was just a party.
Right.
Everything. But I put that back in, even though it's a joke moment, there was a lesson there. And I even edited that scene so that the lesson happens that Luke is trying to teach her. But it was what she says to him at the end of the scene that makes him really stop to think, like, because she's like, you know, you don't understand. Our real friends are dying on the other side of the galaxy, and we have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke then decides to reach out again in the Force, and the first thing he senses is Leia. And he comes to this realization, like, I have to come back in some way. I have to reconnect. I have to do something. And then he's on his way to, for all we knew, do something. Maybe he was going to come back, but he walks in on that Force dyad moment, and that moment then got ruined in the movie with witnessing Luke try to murder his nephew.
Mm-hmm.
But I removed, I didn't completely remove that. I altered it so that it felt different.
Right. Something I thought of during Luke's Force projection, when he kisses Leia on the head. Do you think she knew that it wasn't actually him?
I kind of do. And I thought about removing that physical interaction, but I was like, you know what? It's Luke and Leia. If any two people are going to have a major connection here that they could feel each other more than anything else, it's them. So I was like, I'm going to keep this moment. But I wonder did you notice that at the end, though, I did remove the dice.
Mm-hmm. I did notice that.
Show him handing them to her, and I didn't have Kylo Ren pick them up at the end, where they vanish in his hand, because that was kind of a silly thing, and I just got rid of that. Hey,
what's up, dude? Give me a second. That's his song.
Nice.
Nice.
I love that.
And to answer your question, Dat Boy Steve, the next musical performance by me, honestly, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I would be playing every stream if I didn't have sleeping kids.
I understand. Real quick, before you guys go on, I'm going to go ahead and split because the melatonin gummies are really starting to hit right now.
Oh, boy.
So, and I do have work in the morning. So
are you sure it's just melatonin gummies?
I'm positive. I'll even show you them in their jars.
Guys, it's melatonin. Bro.
I don't do that. I don't do the stuff you're implying. But anyways, thank you for having me on here as always, Tim and Matcave. I can't say it enough. Thank you for making this cut of The Last Jedi that you did.
Yes.
You did an absolutely phenomenal job.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, they are.
He's hitting.
I just wish they could take care of the weird soreness I got back here in my shoulder from sleeping wrong last night.
Oh, yeah. See, I got getting older, man.
I gotta edit something with Master Paul and his gummies to throw in.
Yeah.
Do it.
I've got so many.
I'm supposed to be mopping the floor. I don't really want to shoot anybody.
Okay, before I go, can you please do punch him in the Clovis?
I'm gonna punch him right in the Clovis.
I got yeeted.
There it is.
I love that.
All right,
So
I'll
good.
see you guys later.
See you, Paul.
Speaking
man.
of little clips to throw in, I actually feel like this now.
My Star Wars confession for the day is that I actually really liked The Last Jedi.
Oh
no.
man.
Like I like the movie. I really
Dude,
like it.
And that's the thing, like I didn't honestly have any expectations of anyone liking it at all. I like, and that said too, like for anyone watching and like I am not against like straight up brutal honest reviews. Like no one's gonna hurt my feelings. This is not
Well, I'll just say it. It was, the cuts were rough.
they're rough. They're so rough. Some of them are so
But
janky.
I liked them though. Like that's really the only criticism. A few little things that I would have taken out.
Mhm.
But I mean, you took out the tickling of the hand, right?
Which
Where
yeah,
she's like,
when he's
I feel it.
messing
I
with it.
feel
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I took that out because
Yeah.
that was such an important moment. Luke
This
is
thing-
actually training her.
This thing, my
Mug is
rainbow cow
great.
mug. This was a Christmas present. We were shopping for Christmas stuff. I was with my daughter. It's just me and her. And I was like, oh, that mug is really cool. Sophie, if you're here with mommy, tell her daddy wants this mug. And then she remembered when they were in there next time, and she got me the mug. So I really like it. I like ugly mugs. I have some ugly mugs. I got a fish one where the handle is the tail, but you can't even get your fingers in it because it's a solid. It's weird. Whatever. Of course. And they get everywhere. Let's see. Spider-Man says, I actually like The Last Jedi now, the actual movie. I saw it a day or two before the Matcave's version. It's enjoyable. Matcave's version is better. I might even be okay to accept the original version now that I've seen yours and I know what to look for. It just hit me the wrong way when watching the first time.
And I'll tell you, I've been so deep into these films now for some time that I've seen these films so many times at this point that I know them probably nearly as well as I know the original trilogy at this point. Like I never expected I would sit down and watch these films. Like and this wasn't just like I did. I sat down with I got my little theater set up over here. I watched the films all the way through first to get more of a sense of what was going to happen here. Then having it ripped to the computer to work with it and everything, and watching this piece by piece. I mean, this, it took some time, but it honestly was an enjoyable experience. I do like editing. I like the process. I like trying to make things, hit a certain beat and stuff like that. But editing your own thing and editing something from the ground up is one thing. But when you're taking an already finished piece of work, it's tricky. You get all these limitations that I was kind of expecting, but some I wasn't expecting. I was like, man, I didn't think this would be that hard to do. But
right.
I did what I could with it, and I'm just happy that people got to see it and even enjoyed it even a little bit, and I'm sure some people, who that'll see it will just be like, no, whatever, this movie's still garbage, I don't, but like I'll even give an example. One of my best friends watched it, and he says he basically was like, I appreciate what you did with it, but that was now the last time I'm ever watching this film in any form. Like he's just like he gave it a chance for me, and I appreciate it, but he's like that, he'd still like just the overall movie was just not for him. And I'm like, that I appreciate you watching it, I appreciate the feedback, and then that's it. And that's how I'm sure it would be for a lot of people, because these movies really were so they just rub people the wrong way. you know, and even taking some things out can cause some issue. Hey, Sam.
Yo, how's it going?
How's it going?
Oh, it's going good, man.
Nice.
Awesome. First off, how did Matt's edit affect your perception of the Last Jedi?
Well, I mean, as far as like the movie in of itself, I mean, not much, but I mean, I will say his version is definitely superior. And I have a confession to make. I actually watched the actual Last Jedi like a day or two before I saw that. And I got to confess, I actually enjoyed that movie now.
Okay.
You know?
Awesome. Ever since talking with Kyle Katarn and having him on the first time, he really opened up my eyes to picking apart the stuff that you appreciate from things and separating out the stuff that you don't really like. And
yeah.
I'm kind of feeling, that's why I was just saying a second ago, like I might be able to even watch the actual movie, The Last Jedi, and enjoy it now, because now I know what to look for, and I'm not closing myself off from appreciating those things. I'm not a never sequel guy anymore, which is weird.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of weird at first.
It's a weird feeling at first, and having just recently been watching all these movies so many times, I never thought I would do that again, but there was so much good that I found that I wanted people to give these another chance. Like it just felt that important to me. I was like, it's Star Wars. Yes, Hawks. Yes, absolutely. And it's
exactly, Hawks.
You know,
it is Star Wars.
It is.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is Star Wars.
I'll never not give something Star Wars a chance. Like I even watched that that cartoon that they did, the Resistance one, which had kind of a cell shaded animation style and all that. Wasn't for me.
Yeah, I've only seen one episode of that.
Yeah, that was clearly done as like, this is like a little kid's show. This is like meant for them. And I get it. I was like, all right, I appreciate what you did here. Not my cup of tea, but I get it. And I can do without it. But I still gave it a chance.
Yeah.
And they're going to stay on course.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
Almost there.
I can hold it.
That's the word.
Eject.
R.I.P. Porkins. He got yeeted.
Eject in space.
Have you ever seen Star Wars Ewoks?
Yeah.
No.
The cartoon and the movies?
Either one.
Both. Yeah, I grew up with them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, man. And droids.
Oh, I just remembered one more thing that you edited out. That was very nice. Something that had to do with purple.
Oh, purple.
Yeah.
Purple face, purple
nose.
Nose?
Purple nose hair? Purple hair.
Purple hair, right.
Well,
yeah, Admiral Holdo
X-Wing's girlfriend
exists in my cut.
Yeah, and she wasn't missed at all.
Not really.
See, that presented me with an opportunity. If Holdo is gone, who is there to do the hyperspace ramming? How did you solve that?
Yeah.
Well, so that moment, because that was a huge dilemma, because one of the first things I wanted to do was eliminate Holdo. But how do I eliminate Holdo and remove the hyperspace?
By taking a lightsaber straight to her brain.
Yeah, it was. I was racking my brain. I was like, how am I going to do this? I'm not backing down on removing her. She's going no matter what. And like I said, my process was I was taking the film in sequence, in chronological order, just letting it play out, finding the moments and adjusting. And it was at the moment of the whole thing happening. Debbie Young, how are you?
Well,
yeah, what up, Deborah?
I really want you to see these versions of the film. I
Mhm.
had you in mind while I did this, and I think
real quick, just for her, explain what you did.
so. I wanted to save Luke and Star Wars and the Force, and just bring people together that can enjoy more Star Wars together. And I recut these films, and I know you saw the teasers that I put out about them, and I saw your comment, you know, don't tease me about this. And I I think you will enjoy it. And
I think you will too.
something I do want to mention also is, you know, we're talking about 8 right now, but the intent here is meant for the audience to see this version of 8 followed by the recut of 9, because they're meant to flow together in a certain way. And I will say that the cut of 9 is way smoother than 8. And the biggest reason is because there was so much more what I consider to be good to work with. But I did take some liberties. I did rearrange some things. I had to add in things because, believe it or not, there were no deleted scenes released for Rise of Skywalker.
Really?
None.
Wow.
None.
Even on their Ultimate Blu-ray edition and everything, there was nothing, which makes me wonder what is sitting on the cutting room floor and
too much or not enough.
Yeah. So I had to take some liberties with it and adjust some things, but they are meant to flow together. But go ahead, Coffee.
And Debbie, I'll just say, if you're apprehensive about seeing it, you probably know where I lined up previously on the sequel trilogy as a whole. I didn't like Force Awakens from the beginning. A lot of other people did. I did not. I can say confidently now I like The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Asterisk, Matcave's version.
Yeah.
It was really enjoyable. I had a lot of fun, which I didn't. Last Jedi was the only of the 3 that I didn't enjoy watching the first time. I enjoyed Force Awakens, but I didn't like it. I enjoyed Rise of Skywalker, but I didn't like it. I didn't like or enjoy The Last Jedi until this last Friday when we watched your edit. So, Debbie, I think you are in for a treat if you let yourself enjoy it. Dan, the man. He is not Dan, a man. He is Dan, the man.
It's true.
Yep, the Matcave edit. Matcave re-edited The Last Jedi into something that is watchable, enjoyable, and that I officially accept into my head canon.
Yeah.
Official Star Wars from me.
It helps it was shorter too.
It is shorter. Last Jedi is originally over 2.5 hours.
Which it did not need to be.
It didn't need to be, especially with the content that they filled it with. My cut is at 1 hour and 50 minutes when you reach the credits.
Yeah.
So much faster pace.
To sum it up, Dan, Canto Bight is gone. Holdo is gone. Luke being a jerk throwing the lightsaber is gone. That sounded like there could have been a beat behind that. Holdo is gone. Canto Bight's gone. There's a lot of stuff that he changed, and the cut itself, like the skipping the scenes, is pretty janky. But it flows so much better. It's way more cohesive. Some little subtle things you changed and added that made it a whole lot better. So definitely check it out. And Debbie says 100% want to see it. How can we work it out? If you're on,
how can we dork it out?
Yeah,
oh boy.
Debbie, let's figure out a day and time that works for you, and I will have it playing on Discord. For anyone else who wants to join in for additional watch parties of it, because I'm all for it.
Cool.
And but yeah, I definitely want people to see it, especially anyone who's even interested at all.
And if you send either Dan or Debbie, if you either of you guys send myself or Matcave, send it to him if you can. Your email, he can share the actual file on Google Drive with you, so you can just watch it straight from there without having to go through Discord or anything.
Yep, absolutely. And that was the thing, getting the chance to put this together the way I did and utilize deleted scenes that I wanted to be in the film initially, like the moment of Luke that was deleted where he's actually mourning the loss of Han. It's like, how do we not have that? Oh, so I brought this up.
Oh, yes.
We were talking about how do you solve the Holdo maneuver. And if you're up for it, I'll show you guys right now. So this is the moment. Holdo has been non-existent in the entire film, and this is the moment of truth of how do we solve.
Was that Japanese text I just saw?
Is that what?
Was that Japanese text I just saw? Or am I screwing with me?
I think
so.
Oh, on the bottom for the buttons, they're just doubled, I think.
Oh no, it's because it's a
screen capture of a
screen capture. Yeah, it's
oh,
that'll go away in a second.
Okay.
I was grabbing clips from it, so I was just like put them together real quick. But this is how I chose to solve the Holdo maneuver, and this is left up to a bit of interpretation. So let's see what people think. How did this work? Here we go.
Beautiful. So much better.
Oh yeah.
My thought there was, well, we have two of the most powerful Force users, a dyad in the Force, fighting against each other, both pushing their powers to their limits at that very moment, to the point where it splits a kyber crystal in half. What if their powers broke the ship?
Honestly, way more interesting than that weird hyperdrive thing.
Right. Yeah, it makes a whole lot more sense, and you didn't have to include Mrs. Purple Hair.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Miss Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and look, I love Laura Dern, but her character was not written well, was not utilized well. The biggest sacrifice in removing her, though, was I had to remove the bulk of Poe Dameron's performance in this film.
Yeah,
but what was left was good. He was one of my least favorite Star Wars characters.
Heroic in the beginning,
and I liked his character in this.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, though, I mean, when you really get down to the nitty gritty of it, it kind of feels like most of his important stuff honestly happens with Leia. Like, Holdo didn't contribute much in the movie at all when you really break it down.
No,
yeah, she just didn't tell him what was going on.
Yeah.
That's all she did.
Which made no sense.
Right.
Like, when I first saw that movie, I thought she was holding back on info because she thought there was a spy on ship, but then it's like, no, she's just not telling anybody for some reason.
Yeah. I wanted Poe's yes, well, Jurassic Park, of course, is awesome.
Yeah. Of course.
I wanted, because that's the other thing too. I was saying this with Paul the other night, that these movies were also meant to be passing of the torch, right? We're trying to pass the torch to a new generation, and Poe should have been more in that leadership role, and Leia, for him to kind of take over for Leia, which he does in Rise of Skywalker. But we went into Rise of Skywalker after watching him belittled and told he's dumb, like the whole movie. So I wanted his story to feel more heroic. So then as you get into 9, he's a hero.
The Force will find a way.
Like that convenient storytelling.
Yeah, that's Jedi theory.
Mind you, it's
Dan
not
the man.
Dan a man.
Yo, what up, Dan the man?
The
What's up,
man.
peeps?
How's it going?
That's right, Korriban. That's right. I'm good. I'm good, guys. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Oh,
man.
I'm doing good, man.
Good, Mr. Star Killer.
Hey, what up?
Love it.
We gotta get the thumbnail with the proper Star Killer. I need it. The not the thumbnail, the profile picture. Yeah. But dude, no, I gotta see this cut, man. I seen my email, Matcave.
Oh, you did? Oh,
we gotta
perfect.
get on that.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it's all right on the Google Drive. So yeah, now that I got your email, I'll just send you the access link.
Sounds good, buddy.
You can either stream it right from Google Drive or just download the files and then you just have them. I recommend downloading them if you have the hard drive space because then it just plays better.
Sure.
But they are large files. They're about 20 gigs each.
Okay. You know, we'll see if it doesn't. If for some reason it doesn't work, then we'll stick with the watch party.
Yeah, and we'll probably do another watch party, like you were saying.
Yeah,
Matcave.
I'll tell you one of the ways the way I showed the film to my son because I had them on my Google Drive. I brought my phone upstairs, pulled up Google Drive on my phone, and then AirPlayed my phone to the TV.
Cool.
And then just watched it that way.
There you go.
Google Drive
there you go.
On the TV.
Technology. We're in the future, man.
Steve says the OT is oldies. The PT is for us 90s kids. The sequel trilogy is for the current gen. We can like all of it, but we got to remember each trilogy is for a different generation. I get that.
That is very true.
I get it.
If we
and
all
I am going to be
like,
honest, I do like all the trilogies.
I don't think, and I'm holding to this, I don't think the sequel trilogy is going to age as well as the prequel trilogy did.
See, that's the problem right there.
If
we all thought like Steven, there wouldn't be a divide in the fan base right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Damn it, Korriban.
He's not a boy, Steve. He's that boy, Steve.
That boy. That boy.
Yeah. I don't think that the sequels are going to age as well. They're going to be like a little bit of a dark spot that some people like, but over time, I do think they're going to be accepted as Star Wars, just like the prequels are.
Yeah.
I get that. I don't think I'll ever like them as much, but maybe if Matcave keeps editing things, maybe I will.
Don't worry, guys. If Obi-Wan fails, I'll edit it.
Oh, God. Scotty, Hawks Holocron says it's good, so you know it's good. For sure.
I'm so glad that he enjoyed it. He, because I've talked with Hawks many times. Obviously, we do when we're counsel and stuff together. But he's been a huge voice of reason for a lot of this and trying to look at these films from a different point of view. But he also goes deep into the new expanded universe stuff, right? So I was saying before in the stream that he turned on to the Kylo Ren comic books. There was 4 issues that made me feel better about The Last Jedi. Nice.
All right, we got one more guy joining us, and then we're gonna have to wrap it up in just a
Is
few
it
minutes.
Obsession?
It is not. He was here earlier.
Hey, what up, Cobra Disney?
Cobra Disney Jedi.
Mr. Jedi.
So Cobra, how did Matcave's edit change your perception of The Last Jedi?
It was an improvement. It was a massive, great improvement on it. Now, I mean, the context is still itself, I did not enjoy too much, but at the same time, you took out the awful stuff and made it good.
Yeah. And it was just trimming the fat. It wasn't even like a ton of crazy changing timelines and editing crazy things and changing the words that people say. You just took the unnecessary poop layer on top and you just made it palatable. Like all the stuff that weighed it down, Canto Bite, which was unnecessary.
Right.
Holdo, which was just pointless. Luke being a jerk, which is not Luke. You just trimmed those things down and it was just such a different movie. And when you get it down to the bare bones, those little gold nuggets, like I said earlier, it was actually really good and really profound. Actually, probably one of the most profound movies of all 9 of them. Certainly of the sequel trilogy, it seemed like there was a lot there. So I was really happy with it. And everyone, if you want to see it yourself, everyone watching, hit up Matcave in Discord, and he'll get you with the link. Yeah, X-Wing likes the thumbnail. We're going to wrap it up. So everyone, thank you very much for stopping by. May the Snatch be with you, and I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.
This is the way.